Oh, here we go. Oh, you bastard. Hey, and how about that Sam Darnold taking on his old team in week 1? That's crazy, right?
Boy, that always gets me psyched up when
I tell you what, nothing. I think the ratings between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets are always generate huge ratings. All right, I'm gonna share it up now. Were you able to catch it today?
No, not only am I not catching it, but I can't get it on yours. Yours isn't updating for me to steal it. Get it. And of course, my computer is running on molasses today. Now, for you young people, molasses is a synonym for slow.
It's made out of sorghum.
There we go. Let's see. Now we're in the game. We're going to be in the game in a moment. We're going to have to delay because I want to watch the first Friends reunion reveal clip that they've just put out. And it's got the guest stars and the premiere date. So do you mind if we hold off for a while? Because I care.
As long as we get that NFL schedule preview in, I'm fine.
Well, those are two things that
huge.
I spoke too soon.
You got it?
No, I got the circle of death.
Oh,
just trying to share off of your page. They were going nowhere today fast. Oh,
good work.
Let's see. Oh, we got a chance. We got a shot. We have an opportunity.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, I'm saying there's a chance, and I'm saying that we are rocking and rolling and ready to go. Ready to go. Okay.
All right.
It is the Brad and Britt cast. It's our last one for this week. Thank you. You want to play topic roulette again?
Always. I'm always down for it.
All right. A 2-year-old shoots both parents. Target the store. Target Pokemon Crisis. Or, of course, gas theft in Georgia.
They're all very tempting, but I'm always down with a toddler shooting somebody. Let's hit that one.
Okay, here we go. Oh, gosh. Not quite as simple to find as I thought.
You thought you had it at your fingers.
Well, no, this is there. There it is. There it is. Okay. This happened in the state of Maine.
Hello.
State of Maine. A kid wanders into his parents' room This was Wednesday morning, yesterday as we speak. And he shot both of his parents. He injured himself, but the cops say that luckily all three are expected to recover. He's 2 years old. He spotted a gun, which was loaded, on one side of the nightstand next to the bed. This is in West Bath, Maine, wherever that is. The kid picked it up, fired it once. Shot did some damage. Mother got hit in the leg. Dad got shot in the back of the head. And the kid was hurt in the face when the gun recoiled.
Uh-huh.
But none have life-threatening injuries. And the 3-year-old in the other room heard what happened and will probably be called as a witness. Did I say 3 year? No, it's 3 weeks old. The kid's 3 weeks old.
3 weeks old. Well,
yeah. See, I kind of killed the punchline there by flubbing it, didn't I? Because it would have been. See, it would have been funnier to say a 3-week-old was going to be called as a witness, as opposed to a 3-year-old. So for the West Coast feed, we'll do that over so that the joke. And by the way, shooting parents with a gun jokes. That they're good just on the surface, but if you muff the delivery, it just doesn't go anywhere.
Aren't you at this point? Aren't you obligated, really, from the state of Maine, to think we should probably start discussions about taking this child away from the family? We should. That should be on the table. If you're that shitty a parent, right?
Boy, I'm having trouble today. One of those days. The Maine Gun Safety Coalition.
Okay.
Wants to pass a state law that would criminalize leaving a loaded weapon, what you are talking about here. Leaving out a loaded weapon that a kid uses. It's a crisis, says the leader of, I would say that, yeah, it's a crisis. But I have a prediction. You want to see if I'm wrong? Nothing will happen. Nothing will change. It doesn't matter.
No.
And by the way, this doesn't count as a mass shooting, thank God, because only 3 people were involved.
Correct.
Right? And don't you have to be at 4 for it to be considered a mass shooting?
For the FBI, that's 4. The FBI, yeah.
And by the way, in Maine, it's 26. So. Hey, did I pull that one out? Huh?
Right.
Did I make a little progress there?
We're getting there, getting some momentum for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay. Just I guess there's a story like this every day. Sometimes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me the gas theft. Give me gas theft in Georgia for 1,000, Alex. Well, you can't say Alex anymore because he's dead, right? That joke is gone. That's gone. You can't even do that.
If you look on my Facebook page, I actually recreated the asking of a question or the reading of an answer and the asking of the question by a Jeopardy contestant.
Right.
And I'm using the phrase wannabe Jeopardy host. That's what I call whoever is being the host right now. Now, which one was it that you want? You wanted the
gas theft in Georgia
story? Yeah. All right. Here's a guy that decided. This is in Griffin, Georgia. Anybody idea where that one is?
Griffin, Georgia. I'm going to say it's in the 75 county greater Atlanta area. I don't know.
Guy drilled holes in the tanks of parked U-Haul trucks and stole 5 gallons of gas. He spilled 35 gallons. So, and it might have even been 45 gallons. So, he was about at a 1-to-8 ratio, 1-to-9 ratio of gas that he was able to procure versus gas that spilled away. They called in the fire department. We understand there's a gas shortage. We also want to remind everyone to exercise safety, patience, and common sense. Okay, here's the main point. This is just like with fucking morons in this country who don't get a vaccine. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
And by the way, I think, number one, that there is an intersection of the mentality of vaccine refusal and gas hoarding.
Oh,
Okay?
wow. Yeah, go ahead.
In other words,
Make that connection. I want to hear this.
I've been trying to sound this out in my head, and I haven't been able to do it right. But if you're so fucked up that you're refusing to get a vaccine, and the only reasons that you have are all the false reasons that we know of. I'm not going to go through the list anyway. We all know what they are. Why people say they're not going to get it. Okay, you're an idiot. You're just a fucking moron. You deny the reality that you live in the 21st century, that there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of progress that has been made in medical science, and we got lucky. We live in 2021 where they came up with a vaccine in a record amount of time because of the preparation that went on for decades before that, and bam, and you're refusing it. You're a moron. Right. I hate you. I don't want to know you. Not my friend, not my relative. Okay? I'm disowning you. The last 5 days, and again, I'm not the smartest knife in the drawer either.
Right.
But on Saturday and Sunday, I got gas for both of my cars. There were no lines, none, zero. Am I that smart? No. I kind of pay attention to the news, and I thought, oh, it's probably a good idea. Yeah, something stupid could happen if this starts to escalate. And of course, by Monday, it did, and people went nuts. And it does not matter that officials who hold press conferences, including the president, are just as hesitant because they have to be. They have to be politically correct, and they cannot attack or insult people in this country who are stupid. We have to dumb down our information for vaccine deniers, for the vaccine hesitant. Remember, don't attack them. Don't insult them. That won't help. We're just trying to convince them. And the same thing with gas hoarders. Yeah. You know, it's one thing if you've loaded up on toilet paper. You know what? Guess what? In the end, you'll probably use it. Okay. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
It's not a volatile storage situation. Okay. It's just going to sit there. But gasoline, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? Why? And you know that 90% of people who are in these lines could make it 3, 4, 5, 6 days
absolutely
without getting more gasoline. You know that.
Right. And don't forget the story that we're showing now with the people filling plastic bags with gasoline. We went through that yesterday. Let's not go through the entire also part of the problem. It is happening, and I can't believe it is, but they've had to issue all sorts of problems there. Would you say that the folks who have vaccine hesitancy would mostly be described as rural, uneducated white folks? Would that be a fair statement to you? Don't believe that's true?
Yes, but that's not all of them. So
okay. I would say, generally speaking, that would be a huge part of the problem. Just as a lot of the people who stormed the Capitol on January the 6th were roughly uneducated rural white folks. Just as most of the people who will not accept the election results of 2020 are rural, uneducated white folks. There's the theme. There's the thread that runs through it.
But here's the problem. First of all, they all weren't, and there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people who were well educated. So which is worse, Britt? Which is worse?
Well, there's, it's hard to decide. You do make by the way, because we've always hung on to the idea about the woman who flew the private or had the private plane from Houston or whatever to DC and rode the private plane back and all this other shit. But there were
I don't know how well educated she was. She's an idiot. She may have finished 6th grade. That just because she's in a private plane at that moment doesn't mean she's well educated. See?
All right, fair enough.
See, I caught you in your own stereotype there.
But there's also been some of that stuff that's going on. So you don't believe it was mostly rural, uneducated folks, and that's not the problem right now with this vaccine hesitancy?
No, because guess who led this? The best educated people in this country, Harvard and Stanford and Yale Law School graduates in the United States Senate. So,
but they knew that they would be able to easily lead a bunch of hicks because those same easily led hicks are the ones that put Donald Trump into office in 2016. No, I think they were manipulating those guys.
I think that you're pointlessly stereotyping who attacked the Capitol. Okay, I think you are. I think you're not giving enough credit to people who have educations, who have jobs, and who took some days off and came and thought they had this calling. It isn't just people with hay growing out of the middle of their teeth. It just is not.
There's some of that, but I
really
also,
isn't.
I mean, as
I
grew up among,
every time I say, well, there's some of that, but most of them were, and I can't defeat that argument.
well, I understand, but I also we've also seen over the period of the last four, and I grew up among these people, and I'm related to some of these folks as well. So I know well, these are the same people that have been manipulated into thinking that the Civil War was not really lost by the South, right? The ones that really think that it was a great calling and all this other shit. And these are the same folks who they voted for Donald Trump. They were called to vote for him, and their policies over a period of 4 years, the policies of Donald Trump kicked them right in the teeth, time and time again. And they went back.
That, Britt, but I'm going to give you the number that now does make sense to use. There are not 75 million low-educated, low-information voting white people in this country, all who voted for Donald Trump. That's not all of the 75 million by any stretch of the imagination. It's a lot of other people.
So the people who are at this point refusing to get a vaccine because it's a free thing, just like you said, how would you typify or generalize them?
I wouldn't generalize them.
I don't believe they go across.
I wouldn't generalize them beyond the fact that a vast majority of them did vote for Trump. Beyond that, okay,
right.
But
because to me, it's a lot of these people that were like, they were the ones who. What was the phrase that was used in 2016? It was economic anxiety. Was that a phrase that was used in 2016 a lot? A lot of folks with economic anxiety.
I believe the translation of that was they were racist, sexist pigs who couldn't stand the fact that they had to live under the iron-fisted rule of a black man for the previous 8 years.
Which I know it does. That does cross through a lot of socioeconomic kind of things. I get that, but I also think that's a lot of hicks. That's a lot of uneducated folks in rural areas that, I have economic anxiety and I can't figure any of this out. Meanwhile, in your home state of Ohio, boom, this is how they are going to combat the whole situation with vaccine hesitancy. 5 people will get a chance to win $1 million each to encourage vaccination. And the part of the story that's not being reported as much, but is being reported some, if you're 12 to 17 years old, you can get a free ride to a state institution, including lodging, including food, including books, if you get vaccinated and enter that lottery.
Wait a minute. I've never heard of room and board referred to as lodging associated with college. I like that.
It's good.
Like that. It's grown-up talk.
It is. You're gonna get all of that stuff there. Well, some of those places they deserve to be called lodging.
The only issue I have with this is what took so long. What took so long for them to come up? No, but the subject of paying people to get the vaccine, forget the lottery aspect. That's been talked about for many, many months, and there were all these high-handed. Well, we shouldn't be in that business. People should want to do it because it's the right thing. Well, no. People do all kinds of things, not because they want to do them, but because they get paid for it. Okay. And in this case, these people who will win the $1 million and they entered the lottery by getting the vaccine. Hey, it doesn't just benefit them. They just don't get paid. The rest of the country, the rest of society, their communities get paid because more people are getting the shot and immunity is increasing. So good for Ohio. There's just no downside to it. I don't.
But isn't it kind of sad that we have to offer like $1 million to people as an incentive?
It's ridiculous.
Isn't that sad?
But think of the investment.
Yeah.
So for $5 million or add another $1 million for scholarship, for $6 million, which is a small amount of money in comparison to how much it costs for people who get coronavirus to get medical treatment, end up in hospitals, and all the kinds of things that are associated with it. Truthfully, if you go back to the very beginning of the pandemic in mid-February, early February, as we really started to learn about this. And by late February, the die was really cast, and everybody knew that this was going to be a big deal. I can recall that the medical professionals, the Sanjay Guptas, the Dr. Vin Guptas, the Sid Guptas, the whole Gupta family.
Sid,
that are
Shlomo, Zeppo, Gummo, all of them.
Right. Mo, Larry, and Curly Gupta, when they were on, they emphasized that every day that we didn't do something, that we didn't start to tell people to wear masks and socially distance themselves, because we've seen what's happened in other epidemics, that's how you treat this initially, because we don't have a vaccine yet, and we might not have one for a couple of years. Back then, it was said that every day that we let go by, every day that we would mark off on our paper calendar on the wall that we did nothing, that we were exponentially causing more of the disease to spread. And so as one turns into two, turns into four, you know the way that works. We did nothing. And I would say the same thing with this idea from Ohio. We would have been so much better off if every state did this 4 months ago. The minute there was a vaccine, I know this is ridiculous. It was never going to happen because those were the days where people who really wanted to get the vaccine that were over 65, we were all getting up when it came our turn to make the phone call or get online to just get an appointment. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But the minute it was obvious that we're going to get out of that old person range and start to spread out the distribution of the vaccine, we should have been doing this kind of carrot approach, enticement approach to get more people. Because, again, the subject of vaccine hesitancy, this is not a new thing. It didn't start a month ago. It didn't start 4 months ago. We knew this a year ago, that there were going to be people, no matter what happened, if there was going to be a vaccine that was going to be developed quickly, which we didn't know then, would be afraid to get it, wouldn't trust it, for all the reasons that we know now. So good for Ohio. It's smart. It'll get a lot of people off their couches. People love to win. This is America. We love contests. We love lotteries. What's better than this? Hey, I can get a lottery ticket and it won't cost me anything. In fact, it might save my life and the life of my friends and my children and my parents and all that. That's the best lottery deal I've ever heard of. The best one ever. Top one.
I would assume some other states are going to follow suit, I guess.
Yeah.
I would assume that there would be some other ones.
Hang on. North Carolina's going to do it, but they'll be restricted in their advertising of it the way they restrict the advertising of the North Carolina lottery.
Right.
Where they're not allowed to talk about how fantastic it is if you win.
People around the country don't know this. People around the country don't know this, but it's like the law is written so that it says you cannot advertise as to entice people to play the lottery. Right. That's how the law is written.
And of course, then you go, well, then why are there ads?
Right. Why would you even do it?
Again,
what's the point?
Don't ask the question. It's too stupid.
It is.
It's just too stupid for words. So.
Oh, I haven't picked the Pokemon crisis. Do the Pokemon crisis.
Oh my God!
As you continue your wheel of death there.
This is just wheel of stupidity kind of stuff here.
Right. Because there's a lot of stupidity.
Yeah.
So I saw that.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Well, I saw that not only the trash bags they're using for the gas, they're not only like they're like the clear ones that you get from work. So somebody has like ripped those off from work, and that's what they.
What you mean, like the kind you just put in a trash can?
Yeah, like a little trash, like that. It was something like that.
So those are the really thin ones. These aren't. At least take the thick outdoor thing that you put leaves in.
A hefty cinch sack. Hefty cinch sack is the official. That is the official trash bag of gas hoarding across America, ladies and gentlemen.
And since you're having to pay extra money for the gas, hey, I got an idea. Why don't you use 2 bags at once? double bag it. Okay. Like when they put the milk in the bag at the store, if you want that, they put it in 2. Go crazy. Go crazy.
Double bag. That's how you do it.
All right. Do not go to Target. And I know you're a big Pokemon trading card guy,
Huge,
Britt, right?
huge guy.
Earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pikachu? Huge Pikachu guy.
Right. They've stopped selling them because last week in Wisconsin, a 35-year-old guy was beaten senseless by 4 others in a fight over sports trading cards.
Oh, come on.
So, in fact, it's not just Pokemon. It is Major League Baseball, NFL, or NBA sports cards. So now there's just another part of America that we're going to lose there, but you can still get them on Target.com.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Jeez, it was an actual.
Apparently, the Pokemon became a thing during the pandemic because the Generation Xers and the Millennials were reminiscing about their youth, and this was one of the things that came back up, and it was, I guess that along with their Robinhood trading account to trade stocks, this was another thing. And another way to do it, so they've lost out.
You'll know that normalcy has returned to America when people are beating each other up over the release of the new Jordans, like they did back in the good old days, right? That's when we know that things will go back to normal.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that we know.
Yeah.
A couple of different stories out of. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene aggressively was going after AOC in the hallways of the United States House of Representatives. It was witnessed by at least a couple of people. Yep.
Right. I think you're underselling this. She didn't just go after her as in saying things to her. Okay.
No, she was yelling at her. She was screaming. She was screaming at her. Why do you support Antifa? Why do you support Black Lives Matter? As AOC tried to get away from her. And now this has brought up some really kind of major security concerns in the House of Representatives after, something happened. Some people did a thing 4.5 months ago. So yes, AOC is fearful of the clearly unhinged, by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Right. So this is the big security problem. And this is the first thing that's happened in the House all year long, right?
Yeah,
since the beginning of the year. Nothing else has happened there that would raise all kinds of eyebrows. By the way, alongside that story, and I just posted this, some guy who writes for The Blaze, the Glenn Beck right-wing thing, he just busted Elaine Stefanik, the soon-to-be number 3 person, because she is demanding, she is requesting more earmarks, extra spending for her district, which apparently is coming back into vogue. She is asking for more earmarks for her district than all 4 of the squad put together.
Holy shit.
More than AOC, more than Ilhan Omar, more than all 4 of them. And it's wonderful. And here's the great part of this, because it's the right wingers, it's the hardcore conservatives who are pissed at her. For that reason, which underscores their annoyance with her in general, because if we go back a couple days and all the press started in about her, well, it turns out she wasn't ever really a conservative. She just started liking Trump and pretending she liked Trump, but her voting record was liberal. It was a liberal voting record. Liz Cheney was the real conservative. So now that she's going to get the gig, the pile-on is starting from the right on her, which it's delightful. It's wonderful. And it's just, out of the 52 card deck of hypocrisy by Republicans these days, this is just another card to throw out on the table that the supposed we can't run up the deficit, we can't spend money, Joe Biden is going to ruin our country, how dare he do. But here is the glamour girl of the moment, right? She is the it girl right now.
Yep, that's her.
For at least Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go so far as to say that Kevin McCarthy likes Elaine Stefanik, because, if he could, compared to Liz Cheney, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't say that. That's not what I do here. That's not what we do, Britt. Okay.
It's not.
And her conservative credentials, of course, as you know right now, guess what? They mean nothing. They mean nothing. The only thing that matters is how much you suck up to Donald Trump. And she's an 11 on the 10 scale right now, and that's all that matters. But I just bring that little thing up as a side issue that we're allowed to notice.
But it looks as though we completely moved on from the Liz Cheney story, and that the Republican Party, which had a chance to really carefully consider whether it was going to be the party of anti-democracy and nihilism, and they took all of 16 minutes to go ahead and dose Liz Cheney and send her on down the road.
They took care of it, and I think it is accurate to say that, again, if you walk down the street and ask 100 people who's the leader of each party in the House of Representatives, about 97 of them wouldn't know either or both.
Correct.
If you said, all right, who's number 2? Now you're really getting into the weeds. If you who's number 3? Who's the number 3 person in the House of? They don't care. Yeah. Nobody cares. Now, that's not the point. That's not important that nobody cares. Nobody is supposed to care, because nobody is supposed to have to worry that the reason that the person who is the number 3 person on the Republican side is only that because they ran out the person who had what we thought were the conservative credentials that Republicans pretend and lie about the fact that they represent, which of course they really don't. And since they've just become this personality cult of worship for Donald Trump, in fear of him endorsing someone in a primary against them, all roads lead to that reason that she gets the job. But she's a hypocrite. She's that led to all these crazy statements that were equal to or even crazier than what Kevin McCarthy said yesterday, which was, we're the party. We're nobody in our party is saying that Joe Biden didn't win the election. We're not questioning the veracity of the election. What are you talking about? Okay,
right.
So of course, like you have to discuss that as if, are there 2 sides to analyzing when he says a lie like that? Of course there aren't. And then you have all these other members of Congress, and you've probably seen the hit parade of clips of all of them. You got the one guy who says, I don't know what January 6th, that video, if you didn't know that the media was going to call that a riot, well, shit, that looked like every day that people visit the Capitol. And of course, the answer to that is, yeah, Britt, did your class ever visit Washington, D.C. in 8th grade? Did mine? Yeah. And you know what we did when we got there? We smeared shit on the walls of the Capitol, just like these people did on January 6th, right?
We tased a couple of cops and beat them with flagpoles. That's what we did. I mean, I thought that's what you do when you go to the Capitol, right?
Hey, Britt, which window did you smash?
There was one by the right side, and then I came. But this continues to be, and it's been a horrible week for this, because they've really decided to trot out all of this bullshit. And now the story here from Nancy Pelosi is sick of the GOP denial of January the 6th.
Did you see that clip of that guy Paul Gosar, the creep from California? That's the one with the 8 brothers and sisters who disowned him.
No.
Did you see?
I don't think I've seen.
He's one of the people that was holding one of the hearings yesterday, and they give him his chance to speak, and he says something crazy. You know who when you see the clip, he reminds me exactly of that actor Crispin Glover.
Oh God, yeah.
When he's acting, he gyrates. He's like a kind of a Parkinson's kind of patient. But
Crispin Glover's greatest role was the father in Back to the Future. He played, I think, George McFly in Back to the Future, and very famously, almost 40 years ago, nearly kicked David Letterman in the head in a fit of craziness on the old late night show. There's Paul Gosar. The story is, he said that police executed Ashley Babbitt during the Capitol riot, and that the feds are harassing peaceful patriots. That's what he is now saying publicly.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the that other crazy guy from Georgia.
Oh
and
yeah,
he's
yeah,
the
yeah.
one. He's the one. And again, don't you love it when suddenly there's a news story and there's a congressman who gets a little bit of press for saying something so off the wall, and you've never heard of this person.
Exactly.
Where do they get these people? Where do they appear from? And
Exactly.
This is from the district. I guess it's not just northern Atlanta; it's north of Atlanta, which I guess that puts it out in the middle of nowhere in Georgia there. So.
So Andrew Clyde is the guy that you're talking about from Georgia. He's saying it was he downplayed it, saying again it was just another day of just tourists coming in and visiting the Capitol. It was a beautiful day. The bird sang. That's essentially what he's saying.
Yeah.
This is the story. We'll show you the picture here in just a moment from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution as Andrew Clyde goes ahead and downplays exactly. There it is. No insurrection. Never happened. But Nancy Pelosi having a press conference, even as we speak on Thursday, saying that she's sick and tired of the GOP doing this. Here's the quote. Really? Well, I don't know a normal day around here where people are threatening to hang the vice president of the United States or shoot the speaker or disrupt and injure so many police officers. Pelosi told reporters in her first Capitol remarks since multiple House Republicans shrugged off the Capitol riot during a hearing on Wednesday. By the way, isn't this like super gaslighting? Aren't we doing gaslighting on steroids now?
You know what, Britt? There needs to be a new word. Gaslight has been exceeded. It has been lapped by what we're seeing right now. You know what I did? I posted something last night. I spent a little bit of time, the usual, more than 30 seconds putting this together. And I thought, we really are acting, at least on the Republican side of this country and the Republican Party, they are acting, not we. They are truly acting like the Communist Party in Russia in the 20s and 30s and 40s when Stalin was running the joint. And if you crossed him, you weren't just taking a vacation in Siberia. You were just never going to be seen again. You were going to be purged.
Yeah, you're taking a dirt nap. Right. You're assuming room temperature.
Right. And then through the years, we here in the West would note how many times we would catch them altering photographs. There'd be a picture of four guys, or there'd be a picture even from the Russian Revolution that had Lenin and Trotsky and the picture that the people would see, they'd suddenly have Trotsky wiped out. He didn't exist anymore. They airbrushed him out. They're pretty good. Considering it was 100 years ago, they were pretty good at this.
They invented Photoshop.
On and on and on. Now, if you can tell me the difference between that kind of visual disinformation and essentially airbrushing Liz Cheney out of the Republican Party yesterday, if not literally, certainly figuratively, she does not exist. If you can tell me the difference, I'll buy you a pizza. Of course, the difference is that at least so far, we haven't turned into a dictatorship where even when Kevin McCarthy is lying as much as Joseph Stalin ever did about the reality of a situation that we could all see in front of our eyes. The lie is equivalent in its utter falsity, right? I mean, it's not that he can't get people executed. He can't get them excommunicated. He can't get them sent to the bottom of the Potomac River with cement shoes on.
But if he could,
the intent is the intent, he would if he could. And the intent is the same. The kind of political ethnic cleansing of your own party is going on, and we just haven't seen that in the United States in this way. Although the Republican Party does have this history going back a long time of taking people who stray from whatever is considered the right wing hard conservative orthodoxy of the moment, whether it's Nelson Rockefeller. Nelson Rockefeller in 1964, he had a shot at the Republican nomination. But Nelson Rockefeller was a conservative guy in a lot of areas, but he wasn't that conservative about social issues. And they killed him for it. They excommunicated him for it, and they put Barry Goldwater in there. And you saw how well he did in 1964.
Right.
I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, they tried to tar Dwight Eisenhower as a communist. The John Birch Society, that's what that all springs from. So it's not the Republicans haven't been doing this kind of thing before, but we've never seen it on display quite like this. And yes, are people talking about Liz Cheney today at the VFW? No, they don't care. We understand that. But it is a big deal, and it's about everyone marching at the exact same speed, in the exact same order, with the exact same material, and anything else, and you're gone. We'll see. I mean,
but don't you think don't you feel like the John Birch Society, they were pikers, they were ham and eggers compared to this crowd?
Well, just remember that now the people who are doing, they have the experience or the ability to look back and say, well, this is how they did it.
Yeah.
We're going to learn from them, and we're going to be worse. We're going to be more evil.
But it is extreme gas. It's extreme gaslighting. I mean, it's the 4 years of like you not only is what you think, what you saw clearly with your own eyes and have evidence of, not only is that not true, but you're nuts for believing that. You're crazy to believe that a bunch of people came to the Capitol, tried to murder folks, and that's dangerous for our country. That's not what happened. And if you believe that, you have some sort of mental illness. Well, to flip it around like that is outrageous.
Well, but think of the one person whose name, when this gets written about, 40, 50, 60, whenever in the future, whose name will be right near the top of what happened on this day. And this was the Vice President of the United States at the time, Mike Pence. And here we are, less than 4 months later, right? Less than 4 months later. And Mike Pence is kind of the lead dog in, number one, not talking about it when he's out in public. If he is. Number two, denying that anything happened, making peace with Donald Trump instantly, sucking up to him for the same reason that the rest of them do, and putting what he thinks is a political future in front of the truth and any sense of dignity that he has about himself. And if I was his wife, holy shit, you couldn't find a frying pan big enough for that wife to put on that apron and beat him senseless for picking Donald Trump over her.
And then you could gaslight that situation.
She was with him on that day. Right? She was there, right? Yeah. Many of the other family members were there too.
As they had to hustle him off the floor because the tourists became a little too feisty over the vending machines, apparently, in the Capitol.
Is that what? You know what? To be fair, Britt, when you put in, and now vending machine, it can be $1.50 for a candy bar. You put that thing in there, and the thing doesn't twist. You do want to get violent.
Well, they were out of Reese's cups. I mean, are people not supposed to be upset about that? They didn't have any. There was no popcorn, and the Sun Chips were gone.
You know what? When we get done, I want you to call up the Associated Press and tell them about that, because they probably haven't even thought that might be the reason.
That's the problem. If the Democrats would have just kept the vending machines fully stocked, everything would have been fine. The last piece of information, even as we've been talking today, the boom that has come down, the CDC saying that fully vaccinated Americans can return to life without masks, even indoors. You can ditch the masks if you are fully vaccinated. The Centers for Disease Control has issued that statement, even as we have been speaking today. So we are one more step closer to, I guess, normalcy in America, something of that nature.
All right, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Now, for instance, when we get done, I'm going to go to the big Harris Teeter.
Okay.
The dog needs bananas. Our dog eats bananas a lot. Have to keep bananas. Shut up.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Nothing wrong with bananas.
No.
There's nothing wrong with bananas.
Dog bananas. Aisle 5.
Dog bananas. No, they're people bananas. He likes them. I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm used to walking through these stores with a mask on. It now is second nature. It doesn't bother me. The numerical odds of me contracting anything now are close to zero, right?
Right.
The odds of me being a carrier at this point, after being vaccinated, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, are next to zero. And the CDC now says all clear for people like me. But you know what? I think I still may wear a mask today just because it still shows at this moment respect for the virus. That there are people, and here's of course the problem. And whether I wear one or not, it's not important. I probably shouldn't, but I might anyway. You know why? Because we just bought a box of 50 of the damn things the other day
at the
drugstore. The paper ones. God damn it, we're going to use it.
I'm going to use them. Yeah.
And question number two: if I head over to Planet Fitness later, where they've definitely had a mask rule all the way through here, are they not allowed to have a mask rule anymore? Does this?
You can do it. No, you can do whatever.
This is not a law. They didn't pass. The CDC doesn't pass laws.
No. It's whatever you want to do with your private business, and I mean that's fine. I'm with you. I think in a grocery store situation, because I think it shows not only respect for the virus, but it shows some sort of compassion for your fellow man, which is not really accepted, or something that I'm assuming that some person who doesn't believe in science now will shove that article on their phone in somebody's face when they tell them they have to wear a mask in some sort of store somewhere, right? Don't you think that's the videos of that are coming?
But see, here's the real problem. And as usual, how long has it taken me to get to this point?
Yeah.
The point is, we have a lot of people who refuse to get the vaccine. They hear this news the way the rest of us who've been vaccinated hear this news. And you know what they're saying to themselves? Victory, touchdown.
Right, we win.
Won.
Right.
I've been against the masks. I know they don't do anything. It's bullshit. And since all these other people are vaccinated, now I don't have to get it because the CDC says that I can circulate among them. No, they didn't say that. They said people who are vaccinated, but I can't tell by looking at you. And we're not tattooing people after they get a vaccination on their forehead that proves that they have it. So this will be the all-time number one example of the free rider syndrome. The free rider syndrome as it relates to herd immunity.
Right.
Because again, we've listened to this for more than a year, which is as you start to approach whatever critical mass number provides little or no room for the virus to keep moving around and mutating, then everybody is okay for the most part. Even people who aren't vaccinated, but they were refusing to pull on the rope with the rest of us.
Right.
And they're benefiting that way. And I hate that. I hate that. I agree. That is just wrong. And you suck if you have been able to get vaccinated in the last few weeks. If you're in that category, last few months, and you haven't done it. And because things are getting but we still have 30 or 40,000 new cases a day. That's still a lot of cases around.
And the area we live in still is at very high risk for infection. In all of the surrounding carriers as well, the counties as well. So it's still in many places. There's a lot of denial going on, even as we have this free vaccine that people don't want to freaking get. That's keeping people well and making it so that you don't have to wear a mask indoor. That's what's happening right now in America. Damn it.
Yeah. So I mean, things are really getting good. They're getting better.
Yeah.
But it sure would be much better if we were still vaccinating 4 million, 5 million people a day.
It would be,
because we're losing out in the ability. It's as if we're in the fourth quarter of a basketball game. There's 3 minutes to go. And we're up by 11.
Yeah,
It feels pretty good.
It does.
But you know what? A lot of games have been lost when the team is up by 11 with 3 minutes to go and they let up, right?
Yeah.
And the same in football. When you start to suddenly let up on your own offense,
right.
and you think you can play prevent defense by just running out the clock. There's no clock to run out on here. And
Nope.
With all the advantages in the United States right now of mass vaccination, we're into the best season of the year in terms of the weather. People can be outside, and we know that that's not going to be a mass spreading event. Here's the question. We have to look inside ourselves and be honest here. Did we overreact? Were we right or wrong? Have they ever done a study on when 8-9 months ago, when those people, say out in Missouri, were crowded into those pools?
Oh God.
And we all said, well, that's a mass spreading event.
Right.
I thought it was. I believe it was. And I think that the statistics showed that it was, just like that motorcycle thing up in South Dakota was. But the difference between then and now is that if you had a mass gathering at a pool or at a motorcycle rally, if a large majority of the people were vaccinated, you would not have a mass spreading event the way you did then. And the non-vaccinated get the benefit of the free ride. And that is the difference. But that doesn't mean you still shouldn't get the damn vaccine. And if you're in Ohio, take a shot at that $1 million. Take a shot. $1
million lottery. You can win $1 million, and then you can use that to put out propaganda about how the vaccine doesn't keep you safe. That's what you can do.
You know what? That's just so stupid that someone might do it. Yeah. I'm getting the vaccine to spite you. Oh God, I won $1 million. I still wouldn't have gotten it if it wasn't for the money, because I don't believe it.
The greatest outcome for that thing in Ohio is somebody uses a fake card. They doctor up a card, win the thing, and then they start spreading propaganda about how it's bullshit and how you should not get a vaccine. That would be the ultimate ending for that thing in Ohio.
Well, I would assume that the only way you are part of the drawing is that, I mean, this has to be for people to get the vaccine now going forward. This can't be for everybody who's already vaccinated.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Remember, the goal of this is to get the unvaccinated vaccinated.
Well, why am I being punished because I was smart back in March?
Right.
I don't understand.
Well, because you were a sap and you didn't hold out long enough and you didn't move to Ohio. What kind of schnook are you? I can't believe you stayed in North Carolina where there was no incentive whatsoever, and you just thought that it was a good idea because you fell for the propaganda. You fell for the and by the way, all I want to know, I want the truth. We're going to find it out one way or the other. Somebody's going to. How soon did you get your vaccine, Tucker Carlson? How fast did you get it before you started lying and continued to lie all this time to all the people who listen to you? And Britt, those are dumb white people.
Well, I'll give you that one.
That's for self-selected dumb white people.
We finally got there. Yes, dumb white people for 1,000.
Yeah, and how about you too, Hannity? Tell us about your vaccine. And you notice that there are more people on Fox who are saying that they got it. All the three idiots on the morning show, they said earlier in the week, we got vaccinated. Everybody should get vaccinated. But you have to remember how they operate on Fox in a situation like that. Those people will say that, and they will pretend that they are in a world where what happens at night, where the propagandists who are destroying them, they just don't exist.
No, it doesn't happen.
Bring up the subject. They would never say, hey, we got the vaccine, all three of us. Everybody on Fox should be getting it, right? We would be saying,
exactly.
No, you don't want to go there. No. Be nice.
I'm gonna start watching Newsmax One America because they believe in not getting vaccinated.
Yeah, you want to bet they're all vaccinated? They're all vaccinated.
I know. You can't even. There's nothing. You guys lost.
They're all vaccinated. So, all right. Well, I think we'll wrap it here. we'll wrap it here.
Enjoy your weekend. We're back at you on Monday, guys.
Yep. And I guess that's when we'll tear apart the NFL schedule for everybody, because nobody's really said anything about that until we do, right?
Oh yeah, no, we'll have a chance to analyze it, and our bag of gas predictions coming up on Monday.
Yeah. I'll see you then.